Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Carson of Venus, Eye of Amtor from American mythology. This is part of the Edgar Rice Burroughs universe, and this is a little different from some of the other comics they've been putting out because this will tie into novels coming out this year with Edgar Rice Burroughs characters like Tarzan and John Carter that are going to tie together in this super arc called Swords of Eternity. And so this is where it all kicks off with this comic. Let's take a look at the cover. I think it's pretty solid. I like the fact that you actually get to see the monster they fight inside, and the monster looks cool. The colors pop, they look beautiful, and the rendering is solid. My only issue is Princess Dewari has this really weird look on her face, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. But other than that, I like this cover. So let's take a look at the interior. So when you open it up, you are greeted by text pieces. And this is a really nice touch. So Burroughs would often do these prologues where he would write himself receiving the story from the characters. So, John Carter or Carson of Venus would appear to him and tell him about their adventure, and then they'd return to Venus and Mars and have more adventures. And so this is exactly what this is. This is the writers telling them how they received these stories from Carson of Venus and Jason Gridley and stuff like that. And that's a really nice touch. And I love the touches they do and the research they do in these comics. It just really captures the feel of Burroughs. The artwork is nice. It is solid. It is beautifully colored. It is solidly rendered. This is the same art team that did Pellucidar Wings of Death. And I had some mixed feelings about that one, but this art team really comes together and really gels and just produces some really nice looking, solidly rendered artwork. And the colors are absolutely beautiful, especially when we get to the underwater sequences. It's just nicely colored. This is just a nice looking comic book. I really like this. American mythology will have solid artists, but they don't always show it in the issue you're getting, because sometimes, the deadline and will, kind of make the artwork look rushed, or the creative team won't gel or whatever. But here they absolutely deliver, and I hope this level of artwork continues throughout the rest of the series. And so it's 3 issues, and not only do you get Carson of Venus in here, but in the back you also get a backup story. And this is with Jason Gridley, and introduces a new character named Victory Harbin. And so this is actually drawn by Mike Wolfer, who, if you see my previous reviews, I love his covers. He is such a good artist, and so it's really cool to actually see him draw some interiors. So that's really cool. As far as the story goes, it's kind of cryptic. I'm not sure what's going on yet, but neither are the characters in the story. As far as the backup goes, they're trying to get the Gridley wave to work, which is this way that Jason Gridley communicates with the outside world from Pellucidar, and it just stopped working for some reason. And they try to get it working, and some weird stuff happens, and we just have to pick up the next issue to find out why. Now, that's the backup story. The main story is basically Carson of Venus on a fetch quest. It's not the greatest thing ever written, but it's solid, entertaining stuff, and I enjoy it, and I like the monster, and I like, Princess Dewari kicking ass and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's enjoyable. I am intrigued to see where it goes. I'm intrigued to see how all these different worlds from Mars and Venus and the Earth's core and all this stuff are somehow going to connect together. So that's going to be very, very intriguing. And this is a little unusual, but a lot of comics nowadays really don't tell you what you're reading. It's very cryptic. You're not sure if what you're reading is connected to anything else, or even connected to the universe you're picking up or anything. And they expect you to read every single article they put out on the internet in order to figure out what the series is. I want to give American mythology super props for making it very clear several times that this does lead into novels. There's actually a advertisement showing you what the novel is. and telling you the name of it and everything. And there's also this cool, very cryptic tease for a new series that they're going to be putting out. Well, probably it'll be a mini series, but that will be in canon. And they keep using the word canonical, which is a weird word, but it just means it counts. It officially counts with the novels, so that's cool. I'm super intrigued to figure out what this is. So, and it keeps going, and this is really smart because another thing is, a lot of comics you pick up will have other titles being put out of the same characters, but they'll never tell you about them. Again, they expect you to look up everything online, and they expect you to be aware of every single thing that's posted online about their comic line. And that's not realistic, especially for a small publisher. So they very, very smartly show you all the other Edgar Rice Burroughs titles that they put out and the comic books you can get for those titles. And so this is a really fantastic idea, and I love the way these ads look. They're beautiful. I love the covers on them, of course. And so they put out The Land That Time Forgot, which is a prehistoric land with dinosaurs and all that good stuff, and Pellucidar at the Earth's Core, which also has dinosaurs but also a lot of monsters, which are really cool. And then there's also Moon Maid, which is adventures inside of the moon. The idea is the moon is hollow, and there are adventures similar to, say, Mars and Venus going on inside the moon. And of course, here we have the other issues of Carson of Venus. Now, I will note here that we do leave off the reprints that they've done, which are quite good, of Cluda doing the adaptation of the original Carson of Venus novel. And there was also a one-shot that they leave off of here with Princess of Venus, and it was a one-shot of Princess Duari, which was also quite good. So those exist as well, but it's really cool to see, all the different comics you can get. And then lastly, we get the brand new Monster Men that recently came out, and this is based on a horror novel that Edgar Rice Burroughs did. And the cool thing about this is that over here, over on the left side, you're going to see the cover for the issue that exists, but then on the right here, you see the issues that are coming out. So it's a 3-issue miniseries coming out this year. They don't specify when, but it is continuing in a 3-issue miniseries, and I'm looking forward to it. And right here, they actually include it in a line of horror comics that's launching in March. Now, this is 8 titles they're showing here, or at least that's my assumption. If each of these is a different comic. American Mythology is a very small publisher, so expect the Monster Men to launch a little later. I would say probably in summer, because we've already got Eye of Amtor, and there's supposed to be a second Carson of Venus series hitting very soon. So presumably they're probably going to let those run their course. That there are always 3 issues a pop from American Mythology, and then they'll probably start Monster Men, would be my guess. And just one more thing I wanted to point out. They put Zorro stuff in the back, and they have this nice, at least it sounds nice, art book for Zorro, capturing like 100 years of Zorro art and stuff. And I was thinking to myself the other day, wouldn't it be really nice if there was something like this for Burroughs? Now, when I did some research, there is a book collection that you can buy with artwork from different Burroughs novels and comics and stuff in it. But unfortunately, it's like $250. So I would love to see something like that done as a mass market price that you could just pay like $50 or less, hopefully. But even if it was $100, it's still at least within a price range, that a collector could afford. 250 is a little steep, but but that was just a thought. I mean, this is a big year with the novels coming out of Tarzan and John Carter and all this stuff that are tying together, which is a pretty big deal. And then there's going to be a Tarzan figure coming out from Boss Fight Studios, and that's going to be pretty cool. They do some very high-end, very good quality figures, so I look forward to seeing that. And then, and then of course we got the American Mythology comics, and I wish these guys the best of luck. They're putting out really solid comics, especially with the resources that a small publisher like this would have. They're pretty darn good. So I recommend, if you're at all interested in science fiction or Edgar Rice Burroughs, please pick them up and give them a try. All right, that's it. Like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, see ya.